Hey friends, Allison here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a fantastic break. Things have returned somewhat to normal here in my neck of the woods, at least for a couple days till New Year's. And then there'll be some more celebrating. I finally snuck back into my haven. It's what I call my studio, my craft room, and dove back into my December daily crafting again, but my head was not in the game for this layout. This video is very long, so if you stick with me, kudos. If you don't, I completely understand, because it took me a while to wrap my head around the design of this layout and then how I was going to decorate it. So I had this idea in my head to create sort of a booklet that had folds in it. I'm working on that right now. I turned to my Cricut and welded 3 tags together so that I could create my booklet. And on the first tag that will be facing you when you pull it out of its little pocket is sort of a title, and then on the inside is going to be all of my photos and the journaling. So there's one photo on the inside of the booklet. I added this photo of a moose that I took a picture of. Its Christmas decorations. While my husband was home, were able to drive around town and take in the Twinkle lights tour. We had the option of either riding the town bus to see it or doing the self-guided option. The town provided a map, so I downloaded the map and we did that with my husband home. So this was decoration at one of the houses that we come across on the tour. It took us about an hour and a half, which is pretty impressive. And that's with me being able to take pictures as well. So we stopped and just took our time and had a really fun evening, just the 4 of us. This is actually one of my most favorite pictures that I took of all the lights that we took in over the last week. I printed it at 4x6 inches, the photo, and then trimmed the edges off to match the size of the tag. And then the last portion of that part of the fold out had the journaling on it. I did use my Cricut to do some writing and drawing as well. So Around Town was written with my Cricut. On the flip side, it is going to say, something else. I forget at the moment now what it says. Magic of Lights, something like that anyways. I used my Cricut to write that. And then the bird holding the string of lights that will be on the title page of this little booklet was actually drawn as well. And I end up coloring him in, but I'll get to that in a few minutes. I just showed you the process of how I created my tags out of photos. These 2 photos were also printed at 4x6 inches. One was printed in black and white, and then the other one was printed in color. And I traced the circles where the circles are going to be in the tag and then just used my X-Acto knife to cut them out. I didn't do that on camera because I thought if I did, the pressure would be too great and I'd screw it up, quite honestly. So I decided against it and just did it off camera. I'm using my ATG to adhere them on the back side of the booklet. Here is the last insert. It does say Magic of Lights. I also used my computer to type out my journaling and then printed my journaling at home as well. So that is my little booklet complete. I'm just going to trim off all the excess that's hanging off and stuff like that so it looks all neat and tidy. I do add some ribbon to the front side of the tag as well, but I skipped that part as well because that also kicked my butt and posed some problems for me while I was recording, so I skipped that. So the blank white piece of paper that you see on the front of the booklet, that's where the title is going to go. I saved that till last, just because it involved using my Cricut and I didn't want to use it right in this moment while I was trying to decorate with all the embellishments. Speaking of embellishing, I stuck primarily with Elle Studio for this layout. Just before Christmas, I ended up getting the December kit from Elle Studio, which I absolutely love. And I was super excited to dive into it, but I got smart and actually wrapped it up and gave it to myself for Christmas. So I waited for a few days before actually being able to use it. And I used it on this layout here. These little stickers that I pulled out are amazing. They are clear. I thought they were like had a white background or whatever, which was fine with me. I thought it was, fine the way it was. But when I realized that they were clear, it made my day. I really, really like them. They'd work over top of photos, especially if there's a light background in the photo. I didn't want to add them to my photos. Not that they would have showed up anyways because they were taken at night and so they're dark. But I did add them to the white spots, like the journaling portions of this little flip out for a little bit of decoration. And then I also used some of the puffy stickers from the Christmas collection that they put out as well, just before Christmas. This little chipboard sticker that I'm adding on top of the photo right now was actually pulled off of another project and saved, and I decided to use it here. On the left photo that I'm working on right now, I'm using puffy phrases to add the word fa la la, and then I'll add a little green star underneath it. This is where the bulk of my video actually came from, was sitting and trying to figure out the embellishing. So I cut a ton of it out. It's still long though. But I thought I would save you the trouble of watching my indecision in terms of embellishing and just cut it all out. So now I have gone back to creating the title for my little tag booklet. Like I said, I drew the little bird. You could cut him from different pattern papers or cardstock to build him and put him together. But I had already had the phrase "let's get lit" written on the tag. So I could have cut him from cardstock, but decided against it. So I cut this particular tag a third time, which I cut out, so that I could draw the bird and have the drawn title done all at once. I didn't want to play around with getting the alignment right on this tag, already having the title written on it and then going back and adding a drawn bird. I just didn't want to mess with it and totally mess it up. So I decided to start fresh. I drew it all with the Cricut and then turned to my Spectrum Noir markers to color him in. I did cut the little Santa hat though, and then made another mistake and cut it from white when it should have been cut from red. The portion that I colored in red should have been red cardstock. That was fine though. I could color it in. It was an easy fix. So that's what I did. And it cut in those 3 pieces as well. So I'm just piecing it back together using liquid glue to glue it all. After it's adhered, I decided to go and grab my clear shimmer brush from Close to My Heart and color in the trim on the Santa's hat and the little pom-pom as well. And then I also decided to color in the Christmas lights with the clear shimmer brush as well. It's really hard to see on camera, and actually it's not easy to see in person either, like where the Christmas lights are at least. But there is just a teensy bit of sparkle in those spots. When that is done, I will glue it to my booklet and call that done. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see a blue piece of paper with a pocket on it and a journaling tag that says Cheerful Moments. I thought I was totally done here and took the night, because I made this yesterday, took the night to think about it. And as I was snapping pictures, I was really not happy with the pocket portion of this layout. And actually, when I went to put my photo and the blue page into my album, I realized that they actually should have been glued together front to back and not two separate pages. So back to the drawing board I went. I scrapped the first blue piece of paper. I'm actually keeping it because I could use it somewhere else. Grabbed another piece of blue paper. This is also from Elle Studio. It is from their Celebrate paper collection. I trimmed it down to 6 by 8 inches and then took some textured white cardstock and trimmed it to slightly smaller than that. Went back to my little gift bags here. They're actually gift bags. They are from Close to My Heart, but you can also find really cute gift bags on Amazon as well. I have them on my wish list because I would like to get some more. And then I realized when I went back into the packaging that each of the gift bags had different patterns on them. I was going to go with the chevron, but when I found the polka dot pattern, I was sold. I did not like the original journaling card that I used from Elle Studio as well in the December kit, so scrapped that as well and went through the journaling cards again. These are 3x4 journaling cards, by the way, and decided on these 4. I didn't know which one I liked the best. I really like that navy blue and white one. I probably should have gone with it, but I liked this one with the asterisks on it as well. Originally, I wanted it to be in this landscape orientation, but in the end, I switched it to portrait so that the title, which I changed on this round as well, from cheerful moments to magical moments, just because it fit with the whole story a whole lot better. Looking at the Christmas lights, and actually just Christmas lights in general, to me is totally magical. And I couldn't have thought of a better title for this layout. Excuse my head hogging the screen. It's going to happen a couple of times. So please just, try and look past it and forgive me. So I typed the word magical. I'm using Close to My Heart navy ink. This is actually called Sapphire. I had to think about that for a second. Pardon my big old noggin in the screen. It's hogging the place. I do that just a couple of times just to get my stamping correct. It does help that there is sort of a grid pattern on this 3x4 journaling card. So it's keeping my stamping straight, but it's not preventing my noggin from hogging the space. So once that is done, I pull out another Elle Studio stamp set. The first stamp set that I used was the Title Builder version 5. And then this stamp set that I am currently using is part of the December kit and add-ons, I want to say. I'm not sure if this stamp set was actually part of the kit or if it was an add-on. I got it anyways because I enjoy using stamps. And I love that they are tabs and you have all sorts of different phrases to create tabs. I think I'll be using that a lot in my crafting. I did turn to the cut apart sheet as well and pull out this little red circle. It is going to go in the top left there on the journaling card. I do move it around a little bit because I wasn't entirely sure where I wanted to put it. I knew I wanted to use a little stamp. I knew I wanted to use that red circle, and I hummed and hawed over the pink asterisk. I did have it in the original version of this journaling card, but in the end it doesn't make the cut. So here I am stamping a tiny phrase from that stamp set using Close to My Heart Ballerina ink. Don't be fooled when you see the close-ups at the end of this video. It is there, it just is not showing up in the photos. It is such a light ink color, it is very, very hard to see. So there is that little red circle. I'm going to use my ATG to glue this journaling card to my pocket. And once that's adhered to the pocket, I'm going to use liquid glue to adhere the entire kit and caboodle to its base, which is that blue pattern paper. It has small circles on it that says Celebrate, which you can't see it very well because I covered it with white cardstock. One of the things that I really struggled with in the original version of this part of the page was the dark canvas that I had adhered everything to. I absolutely love my white space, And when I decided to go with something other than the white space, I think that's where I really struggled with the final product. So like I said, I went back to the drawing board and tried it again, but I'm much happier with this result than the original. With that brings me to the end of my process and this video. I do sandwich everything together. Here is my large 6x8 photo. I used one of the vellum titles from the Christmas collection from Elle Studio. I stapled it to that photo because I don't think this is part of the video, and stamped a phrase onto one of the blank chipboard stickers from the kit as well, and it says wrapped up in magic. Here are my close-ups. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. Kudos to you if you stuck with me for the full 16 minutes. If you enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up and a like. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, as in projects that are created with the Cricut, definitely stick around because there are lots of projects like that here. I'll be back again soon with more creative inspiration. Bye, friends.